Hello, hello, good evening. Welcome everybody. God bless you. If you're in the house live, drop a comment. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're in the house. We have a wonderful class, a wonderful topic this evening that I really want to dive into. So I'm only going to spend a few minutes just recognizing you guys in the beginning, and we're going to dive right into the lesson, okay? So if you're here, let me know. Let me know that everything's okay, how you're doing. Let's see, first comment, we've got Linda says, first live class. Awesome, we'll be watching in PA, so excited. Lily Vargas says, my first live class too, so excited. Happy to have you here. Danny, also, first class, just found you 2 weeks ago. Love the material, that's awesome. Hello, hello. Linda says, I will be debt-free of $150K in a little over a year because of what I learned from you. Thank you. Would have been paying off my mortgage until 2037, but now, according to what she's saying, we'll be debt-free in like 2021, right? Or maybe 2022. So that's a huge, huge gain, right? A lot of savings right there. Walker says, hello, Denzel. I'm looking forward to the wealth building advice. I have my notebook ready. Yes, yes. That is another reminder for everybody else in here in the house. Better be taking notes. A lot of you are either one-on-one clients, you paid for the Velocity Banking bundle, or you paid for the Velocity Banking Masterclass, or I extended an invitation to everyone else that has a membership with the Velocity Banking Manifesto. Maybe you're paying $14.99 a month, $97 a year, or $497 you have access to the Manifesto for Life. Every now and then, I'll extend the invitation, bring you guys to these private live streams that I do with my one-on-one clients. Sometimes I'll have someone on the call with me, and I won't be acknowledging anyone but that person. And it's a great way to perpetuate their kingdom because they'll have recorded material of their numbers, their finances, what they're doing, their partnership with me, their relationship with me, how they behaved when they were in debt versus out of debt. And then when they pass away and their children pick up the mantle, they'll be able to hear their dad's voice, their mom's voice when they were 45, when they were 55, when they were 65, when they were 75, when they were 85, all the way up till passing. How awesome is that to perpetuate your kingdom, right? Pretty cool stuff. Okay. Colleen in the house, hello. Hello, hello. First live as well, that's cool. Eric says our first. Wow. I think now you guys are starting to get the memo, right? Every Tuesday at 12 Eastern time, every Thursday 9 p.m. Eastern time, I will be doing a live. Every now and then, like I said, I'll extend the invitation, do some outreach to get you guys, try to help as many people as I possibly can in a short period of time to get you along the way. Chrissy says, hello, how are you? Sound and audio are great. Well, thank you for letting me know about that because you know how I be having some issues every now and then. And looks like my camera is functioning pretty well. What I've noticed is when I have like a high amount of people on the live stream, for some reason it starts to bug out, you know? So once I start hitting like 150, 200, 250, I don't know, it's like the system can't handle it for some reason. I don't know what it is, but not gonna complain too much about that. Jules the Fabulous says, hello Denzel, hello everyone, looking forward to your wise advice. Yep. All right, so without any further ado, let's dive into the lesoncino. Let's go. Let's dive into this. I'm pretty excited to talk about this. Really excited because I just love working with individuals, people that no matter the age, health, creed, culture, religion, color, don't matter what it is, where you come from, when you get involved in the kingdom, everything changes. When you get exposed to the kingdom, when you get exposed to the way that you could be living as a king and or a queen, your whole life begins to shift. The paradigm shift occurs. Your energy shift occurs. You're 60 but you feel 40 again. You know, you're 70 but you feel 55 again. You feel like you're back in your younger days. You got a young guy talking to you, so you got that energy. You want to keep this going, right? The time clock hasn't stopped, okay? You are not dead yet, okay? Your work is not finished. You're finished when the Lord calls you, okay? So until then, when we start building kingdoms together, you have to understand that the amount of responsibility you are taking on, it's going to be stressful, it's going to be hectic, there's a lot of obstacles, there's a lot of fear, objections, obstacles that are going to be coming in your way. But when you have the Spirit of the Lord in your heart, when you have kingdom authority in your heart, when you have that substance, that context in the content, you're able to proceed effectively as a king or queen on planet Earth. So, on the board, we have an individual, 63 years old, in the state of Texas. This gentleman is married with 2 kids. I shouldn't call it kids, they're grown kids in their 40s, I believe. He has a current income of $2,100 a month. It was at $3,100, but he was not fired, but what's the word? Furloughed, right? So it's up in the air whether his income's gonna go back to $3,100 or not. So he is in a bit of a bind, okay? Cash flow definitely shrunk by, you would say, about $1,000 or even more than that. So he is, to date, 2020 August, making $2,100 a month, and has been for, I think, the past maybe 2 months or so. Was making about $3,100, could be as high as like $3,400 or $3,300, okay? We're just dealing with his income, not wife's. His expenses are $1,565. Those expenses really are overestimated and really hasn't changed prior to COVID and then now in COVID. His total debt is $176,123.66. His cash flow to date is roughly $500, could be as high as $535, but we're being a little conservative, call it $500. He does have a personal, unsecured, revolving line of credit with, I think, Wells Fargo for $20,000 at a 6.75% rate, okay? Savings is about $6,000, but that savings is really used to pay his property and insurance taxes on his 2 mortgages, I believe. So he does have an additional $2,900 sitting, not doing anything, off to the side. We could call that savings, and then this is like savings, but it's going to be used, so he kind of builds it up throughout the year until he pays it in full. So we have, moving along, we have a credit card at a 0% rate for the next 8 months. The minimum payment's $250. We owe $9,000, okay? Whenever I am dealing with 0% debt, typically I like to pay the monthly minimum payment, and I direct my attention somewhere else where I am being charged interest, and then come back to the debt right before it expires and chunk at that to prevent any interest from being accrued on that credit card or being added on if it was a credit card that was deferred, okay? Moving along, we have a mortgage, primary mortgage, MP, primary, which is $42,123.66 left owed. The interest rate on that mortgage is 6.375%, quite high for the environment that we're in right now. His mortgage payment is $464.16. That is the mortgage payment itself, not including escrow. Like I said earlier, he pays escrow himself. That is just principal and interest. Second mortgage is a rental, which he is cash flowing about $160, I believe, from the property, owes $125,000. There's about 70,000 in equity. The interest rate, if I'm not mistaken, was 5.5%, or it might have been 5.25, somewhere in between. I know it's over 5%, under 6. So I forgot what he had said, so I just put 5.5 in the middle. His mortgage payment is $1,323.34. Everything is included on that. Insurance, escrow, all that good stuff, I think. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Everything is included on that payment. And from that, he's cash flowing, like I said, about $160 from that property. His goals, 63 years old, wants to build a home on a particular property that is owned by the family, small home, and that's where he wants to move to, and then he was going to use his existing primary residence to collect rent on that. And he wants to create pretty much his own personal pension fund via real estate investing and having his own business, because this gentleman at the age of 63 has 0 assets. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this or deal with this situation where you just were not taught about money. Maybe you just didn't take the time, you waited so long, and now it has become urgent because of, in spite of all the chaos and crisis that's been going on in the world. So you have a microscope on your finances now. So this is what this gentleman is facing. So we have no assets. So not only do we want to pay off debt, which is one of his goals, to be debt free, but he also wants to build a home, wants to travel, wants to go to Africa, help and give to that country, to the people there. So we need to really think creatively. This is where creative financial strategies come in to make up for lost time. Here are some additional facts. His credit score is fantastic, 834 last time he checked. We have about 7 working years left. So in those 7 years, not only do I want to be debt free, but I need to create a passive income stream that supplies whatever he was making, and at least make double that to supply the goals and the desires that he wants for his life and his family. So we got 7 working years left. So I presented 3 strategies that we can potentially do for this situation. And I want to get your input. You can comment option 1, option 2, option 3. I'm going to explain the options, then you guys comment, then I'll reveal to you what this gentleman is actually in the process of doing. We had a phone call together. I presented the same 3 options. Now I'm presenting it to the community, to the kingdom. Let's get your feedback and insight. Let's help this gentleman secure and perpetuate that beautiful big kingdom. So option 1 is we can just simply take the next few years, focus all of our attention on paying off debt via the velocity banking concept or the debt snowball concept, or a combination of both. So as of right now, he could easily take a chunk from the HELOC, start hitting his mortgage, right? The primary, because the other one's being paid for and he's cash flowing. So it makes more sense to tackle this one so that he could then maybe pull some equity, eventually graduate from a HELOC to a HELOC, take a HELOC out, go build the home that he wants to build, put a renter in the mortgage, cash flow the difference, and then create more wealth from there, right? So that's one idea. Another idea is he could just do debt snowball for a period of time right now until he decides what he wants to do. So this is where debt snowball is pretty cool, where it's like, okay, maybe I don't know what I want to do right now, but I can at least start making extra payments towards a particular debt. Now, prior to talking to me, he was making extra payments towards the credit card. So I instructed him and said, why are you doing that? That's 0%. Why not take those extra payments, put it on the mortgage that's actually charging you interest, and then we'll come back to the credit card and chunk at that to remove it. Okay, and we'll get the cash flow from that. So that's a option 1. Just simply pay off debt, become debt-free in less than 7 years, of course, right? That's our window, 7 years or less, right? So whatever debt snowball does, we measure it up to velocity banking. Obviously, with velocity banking, we want to go at least 30 to 50% faster than the debt snowball concept. So preferably, I'd like to be, if I'm going to go with option 1, I'm going to be debt-free in about 3-4 years. So I can take the other 3-4 years to build wealth. Okay? That's option 1. Option 2 is he could be in a potential position to sell a property, maybe the rental, pay off the primary mortgage, and pretty much start fresh because he's got the $70K in equity. So he could sell the property for a profit, pay off the mortgage, and pretty much wipe the slate clean and start fresh. So that's option 2. And then from there, the only debt that would be left is the credit card, and his first mortgage would be paid off. I would immediately shoot for a HELOC to start on this goal to build a home, right? While simultaneously figuring out ways I can create passive residual income. And by building a home and moving out of that property and putting a renter in there, he could supply, himself a rent-free home, pretty much. By taking the equity out of this home, if it becomes paid off, takes the equity out, builds the property, lives in it mortgage-free, or whatever it costs here would get offset by whatever rent he would collect on this, and there would be a nice, little move there, right? So we can think about that. So that's option 2, pretty simple, kind of like a clean slate, be done with it, kind of restart the engines, figure out what he wants to do. Option 3 is probably the most complex out of all of them, which is to actually restructure debt, right? We can restructure, reallocate debt, cash flow the difference, become debt leveraged, not debt free, but debt leveraged, start a business and 10x my income. Okay? So there's a lot. There's a mouthful in there, which leads me to the topic of when does refinancing make sense in someone's personal finances. So if you're with me this evening, we got 32 people in the house watching now. Now that I've explained the options, let me know your thoughts. Just comment option 1, option 2, option 3. Which one would you do regarding the situation here, right? And this is just good stuff for you to become aware of, especially for my people that are interested in coaching, consulting with others, right? You want to teach this information. It's nice to, how should I say? It's nice to, be adaptive and be conservative, be aggressive. You're always kind of playing the devil's advocate when you're kind of working with people. You're always, okay, could that work? What's the worst case scenario for that? What's the best case scenario? Okay. So I'm gonna allow some comments to come in. All right, we got Danny saying option 3. Francisco says option 1. Jules says option 3 makes more sense. Okay, so let's provide a little more context on option 3 because, like I said, there's a lot in there. It's a mouthful. So, on my channel, you'll probably hear me often say that refinancing is not the wisest thing to do, right? In most cases, for most people that are thinking in the refinance mindset of let me save money or try to increase cash flow and try to pay off the home after refinancing, in most cases, you're not helping yourself whatsoever. Even though you go to a lower rate, even though you go to a lower payment. There's closing costs, and you restart the clock on your mortgage. So my argument when I'm talking to people, especially my clients that are thinking about refinancing, I had one lady that was in the midst of refinancing. She didn't even know what her closing cost was. It was $8,000. The rate only dropped by like 0.5%, and she was at 24 years or 23 years. So she would have went to 30 years. Yes, the rate is lower. Yes, the payment is lower, but she does not save money. Why? Because the bank charged her $8,000 to do the move. And I looked at her and I said, why don't we use, excuse my grammar, why don't we use a PLOC or a HELOC and do the same exact thing that refinance does, but go faster? So that's usually the argument that I make often. Or why not take a 0% credit card and make a huge chunk on the mortgage at zero cost, right? Zero balance transfer fees. Those credit cards exist. Most people don't know this, right? So that's the argument that I make. Now, there is a case where refinancing does make sense, and I like to factor in the entire field. Now, when I think refinance, if I'm going to refinance a property, it is for the purpose of tax advantages, cash flow increase, the same as someone would be thinking about refinancing. But my intention is not to actually pay off the mortgage. My intention is to become debt leveraged, not debt free. That's it. It's like, what? Wait a minute, Denzel. Don't we want to pay off all our debt? Yes, we do, for most people. Wealthy people do not pay off all their debt. They become debt leveraged. Their debt pays them money. They get tax deductions. They get benefits. They get exclusive offers with the banks. They build real banking relationships that last generations. And they're able to get access to wealth that majority of people do not get access to. So that's a different spectrum, different way of thinking. Does it have risk? Yes. Is there high rewards? Oh yeah. Especially in the 21st century, the way money works, we understand that all of our dollars has no value, okay? It says it right on the 1, the 5, the 10, the 20, 50, and the $100 bill. It says it. This legal tender is for all public and private debts, okay? So with that being said, this gentleman, let's look at the variables. 63 years old, paying attention to that. Fantastic credit score. Okay cash flow. Does have a debt tool. Is bringing in income. Not that high. Not the worst. Debt, not that high. Not that effective on his finances because of the type of debt that he has. I mean, majority of the debt is an asset. It's a liability now, but can become an asset later on. So he doesn't have car debt, student loan debt, credit card debt, personal loans, medical bills, collections. He doesn't have that stuff that most Americans have. He's got mortgage debt, right? One of them is producing cash flow, one is not. One has the potential to, and he is, fixing to make that a asset over the long haul. So I was doing some research. When I was looking at refinancing debt, I was thinking, okay, well, if I do a refinance, are there refinances out there that I can find the lowest rate and the lowest cost or zero? So I was looking on Google, and there's people that are refinancing their mortgage for zero cost. Zero. You mean to tell me I ain't got to pay jack for it and get a low rate and get a low monthly payment? Okay, we might be onto something here. So especially, let's take in the environment that we're in. Interest rates are at zero right now. I'm seeing average mortgages right now every single one of them lately that I've been seeing are under 4%. I'm seeing a lot of mortgages under 3%. I'm seeing 2.6, 2.5, 2.8, 3.2. So I said, look, I was telling the gentleman, I was like, look, if we can refinance both of these mortgages to a 3.75% rate or significantly lower, say 3% or less, because I got the credit score, I have the equity, I have the banking relationship, I could potentially get this done. I could lower one mortgage payment from the 13 down to about 900 to 1,000, and the other one I can refinance down to about $200 to $250 from 464, and increase cash flow by well over $500. Now, if I go this route, what I'm saying is I am not paying off the mortgage. That is no longer the intention. The intention now becomes tax strategy. So now I got to get educated on taxes, deductions. My intention is to actually prolong the debt. Cash flow the difference, put a renter in there to create more cash flow, and he's in the process by the end of this year, he's going to raise the rent on his existing rental. So there is the argument of, do I pay debt off now or invest, create wealth, 10x, and at any given point, if I go from $2,000 to $20,000 a month, and I do that consistently over a 7-year period, and it becomes from activity to passive, my friend, I could write a check at any time and pay off my mortgages if I wanted to, but I don't have to. So I put myself in a very authoritative position here, where I'm doing the same thing option one does, but here's the issue with option one. When I become debt-free, doing debt snowball velocity banking, right? Or let's just say debt snowball. If I just did debt snowball, I'm debt-free in X amount of years, but then I'm broke, got to restart. With velocity banking, if that's all I did was velocity banking, I'm debt-free, and now I have a lot of credit to my name, a lot of leverage. But that's not enough for financial freedom, which is why we add other things to the equation. 10x, infinite banking, real estate investing, start a business, right? Fulfill a purpose in this world, solve problems. Option two is pretty nice. I can say, all right, I just want to start, clean slate, right? And restart these engines. Okay, that could potentially work. The downside to this, in my opinion, is I do not like to lose land. Land is a critical component of building and perpetuating kingdoms, to establishing laws, ethics, ways of being. Owning land, you then own law, okay? With enough land in any given country, you could establish laws. Laws create culture. Culture is the lifeline of any country. So in your country, in your household, if you've got the land and you got the finances, that gives you the power. The land gives you authority over the law. Law creates culture in your kingdom, which helps perpetuate the ways of being, so that when you die, you actually live. Because in death, there's life. When you die, the kids will do exactly what he did. So therefore, everything about this man would have been perpetuated through his children's children's children. How do you like them apples? Okay? So option two is pretty cool, but it does have a bit of a downside. I lose that authority in terms of, I got to sell. I may not want to do that. Option three is very interesting. We're actually ignoring a fundamental, say, rule of being debt-free, which is promoted throughout the environment in our world here. But we live in a country where everybody has debt. All rich people have debt. So how do I get rid of debt but then become debt leverage? He could restructure debt at a super low rate because of the environment that we're in. And his concern is no longer paying off the properties. They're going to do what they do. Especially if he has renters in there, it's going to do what it does. It's going to cash flow the difference, right? So now we go into redirecting all cash flow to build your own personal pension plan because he has no assets. You see, if this was a 63-year-old man with a $500,000 or $1 million in his 401k and he had 100, 200, 300 in his Roth, and he had a pension plan from his company, and he had, Social Security coming in, and maybe his wife also makes good income, then maybe I wouldn't talk about refinancing. I'd just say, let's get rid of it, right? And if he's got IBC or life insurance or some sort of other assets in play, then maybe refinance wouldn't be a conversation. We would just stick to, say option one, and just be done with the debt, keep the authority, keep the land, live your life out. But since that's not the case, we don't have assets. This man dies tomorrow, family's left with all the debt. So how do I restructure, reposition, restore that debt to my advantage so that if and when I pass away, that my kids, I do not leave them a burden, rather I leave them a strategy to perpetuate the kingdom, right? So now, what would make me, say, happy with a refinance is if I can get a 3% rate. I put 3.75, but I told him on the phone, I was like, look, with an 800 plus credit score, I don't see why on planet Earth I can't get a 3% rate or lower and find a super low cost to refinance, or if not, zero. Restructure the payments, reset the clock on the debts. My shift the mindset, I now say I'm not debt free, but I'm debt leveraged, and now I'm going to build a business, right? So let's take a minute here to look at some comments. Seen some more options. People came in. Let's see. AM says 3, go for that 10x. Sherry says 3. Funding Guru says never give up assets. That's cash flow. Joyce says option 2, there's only a small timeline. Option 3, 10x is great. He has children. They can buy him out. Interesting. Don't lose cash flow. Credit card with 0% transfer fees are almost non-existent. Not when you look at the local credit unions. Not when you're looking in the right locations. It's non-existent to you because that's what they want you to think. But a guy like me, right, and other of my clients that have great credit scores, good credit lines, good income, we don't have that issue when it comes to finding the tools. We do a little research, a little homework, and we make it happen. No excuse. When you're in a kingdom, there's no excuses. You make it happen, right? So this gentleman and I, when we were on the phone call, he really likes option 3. He really wants to go with option 3. So to kick off option 3, what does he need to do? He needs to educate himself. He needs to learn. I said you need to do the research. Do not make any hasty moves. Take a few months, right, to really get all the data, all the information. Talk to lenders. Don't let anybody run your credit. You find the best company. You go on those websites that compares all the different lenders, and we make it happen. If we're going to do refinance, let's do it right. Let's get the lowest rate, the lowest cost, if not zero. Let's redirect as much cash flow as possible. Now, the second follow-up component now is what do I do with the cash flow? And that's where, listen, we must start a business. We want to shoot for 10x because why not? That's my only argument. Why not? We want to shoot for 10x because why not? That's my only argument. Why not? Even if you did 5x, you would not be frustrated. Even if he doubled his income, he would not be frustrated. If he went from 3K to 6K, his desire when I was on the phone with him, he was like, dude, I only want to make 5 to 6 grand in passive income and live my life. Go to Africa, help some kids out. Feed them, clothe them, right? Teach them, right? Travel the world. I mean, it don't really cost that much when you have that humility in your life and you live below your means and you give and you tithe, the Lord makes waves, I should say, for you. Mountains move, right? To supply the kingdom's needs, okay? For the kings and the queens inside the kingdom, all right? So starting a business, this gentleman decided to team up with me. He was very interested in one of the businesses that I have been growing over the last year, right? Very, very subtle with it, but it's in complete alignment with everything that I do, okay? So this gentleman today literally just signed up for the Legal Shield business, which is a company that sells legal services, identity theft protection, helps people start their trust, their will, estate planning, tax strategy, trademark, business entity, establishment, get your corporation, receive free legal advice before you actually make any specific moves in the legal world. So activity-wise, he decided to partner with me and start a business. Okay, so he took a portion of his cash flow, started a business. Now he's going to share, sell, communicate, create content, deliver a message in his way about Legal Shield, which is going to create activity income in the beginning. I said, dude, if all you did over the next 7 years was just talk to people about the product, right? And you just stayed consistent with it over a period of time, this is going to translate into passive income, right? Anything that this makes, you can use it to then buy real estate, right? Any and all income that comes from Legal Shield, right? Because with a nice tax strategy and a home-based business, there are a lot of tax advantages, tax deductions that he can get by simply starting a home-based business in his home, right? And with the proper tax team and tax strategy, he could be saving a lot of money, retaining more profits, keeping that profits, and then sticking those profits in real estate, which goes back to tax strategy to the point where you're paying 0% in taxes and you are operating like kings and queens do, right? Where we simply follow the law of the land. We follow the laws of the land. This isn't opinion, it's fact. Principles, fundamentals, rules. We obey the laws of the land, the laws of our heart, to operate effectively and deliver the resources that we need to people. So, you know, that's where starting a business came in. So he did that component. That's done. Legal Shield, very low barrier cost to entry to get in to sell a fantastic product. Okay, great. He teamed up with me. I'm going to make his life very easy. Do you guys know how many leads I get per day from my YouTube channel? It's stupid. I have at least 25 to maybe 35 new leads per day, right? Per day. Now, I'm in a very interesting position where, you know, I'm building this business, I'm young, I'm growing very fast. I don't even have the capacity to handle what's coming in right now, right? The sheer amount of people that send me emails on a daily basis. If you guys saw my email list, you'd be like, how do you do it, Denzel? How do you respond to all these emails, build content, create content, build a program, coach your clients? It's part of the kingdom. It's part of the responsibility that you take on. It's a passion, it's a love. It's not work to me, but there's still those obstacles that you face, right? Where you hit certain peak points. Now I'm at a peak point in my business, which is now I've been doing outreach. I've been saying, hey, I got all this money coming in. Would you like to be a part of it? Would you like to collect on this wealth? I'd like to sprinkle the infield like my stepdad says, which means to literally spread the wealth. Because the more I spread it out, the more I give, the more I keep getting. Every time I try to challenge God, this man delivers. Every time I give, the Lord responds like a king, because he is the owner and ruler of all things. So if I'm abiding as a citizen in his kingdom and I'm saying, hey, I declare this as giving in your name, Lord, bam, I dispose of it. I give out the resources, I look the other way, I keep walking, right? And then on Monday, I disperse resources again, I give, I walk away. I just keep walking. And then all of a sudden, I get this windfall of cash, boom, right inside of me. And I'm like, oh my God, all right, my bad, Jesus. I'm sorry, I forgot who was king here. Okay, I see how you operate. Let's do it again. And that's the relationship I have with my Lord and Savior, is, we are in sync. When you're in sync with your Creator, when you're in sync with your purpose, you're able to deliver, right? Every single day. You're able to give that value every single day and keep going. So here is a unique position for this 63-year-old individual. Say, listen, look, dude, I got all these leads coming in. You know how many other people are interested in the Legal Shield business right now? I haven't even spoken to them yet. I haven't even gotten on a conversation to sell them I got people that they're doing this to my email. They're doing this to, like, if my email was my door, my house, they're going like that. They're banging on the door to get in, right, into this kingdom. So for those of you that want to start a business, that want to get this thing going, right, if you're like an option 3 person, if you're one of the people that said option 3, you got a 10x mindset, right? If you said option 3, you're thinking outside the box. You're thinking creatively. You factored in the time. Homeboy is not 40. He's not 35 years old. He's 63. Okay? He doesn't have a lot of time left. He has to really be effective with time. Am I going to waste time paying off debt, or is there another way to pay off that debt effectively, create cash flow, build wealth, live the lifestyle according to the goals of his kingdom? Any questions before we close out here? Okay? I'm going to open it up to some Q&A, allow you guys to jump in, chime in. Do you guys have any questions at all? If not, I'm going to close it out here. We got 36 people in the house. You guys are a little quiet in the chat room, which is pretty surprising. Usually I see the chat room flowing, but maybe the content was so good. I don't know. But let me know your thoughts. I'm going to wait 30 seconds, a minute, see if any questions come in. If not, we'll close it out here. I think this was fantastic. So yeah, guys, this gentleman is doing option 3. Started a business with me, teamed up with me in Legal Shield. Okay. All right, we got some questions coming in. Joel says, late, but I am here. That's all right, Joel. You'll catch the replay. Jules says, love it. John says, when can I join the one-to-one program? So, when can I join the one-to-one program, which was the same exact question that this gentleman on the board asked me. And I simply told him this. I said, here are your options. Option 1 is you partner with me in a business. Okay, there's 2 business opportunities that I am currently building while I'm coaching my one-on-one clients to help them pay off all their debt, do velocity banking, do infinite banking, build their credit, business credit, and all that. Okay, that program is locked up. I'm at my max capacity. I'm not able to take on any more individuals for that. So what I've done is I created a new option where you get in business with me, which actually costs less than the one-on-one coaching program. And this is a performance-based program where you join me in a business, whether it's the Legal Shield business or the other business that I have, which I recently came across a software that helps people automate the velocity banking concept, the debt snowball concept, a very comprehensive spreadsheet. It's a way to make money. It's a product that you can offer to like real estate agents, brokers, realtors, tax people, mortgage lenders. I mean, the list is endless in terms of who you could pitch that software to. You could even give it to companies. So 2 great products, both of which at right now cost $100 to join. With Legal Shield, plans range from as little as I think like $9.99 a month to like $11 to as high as like $40 to $50. It really just depends on what you purchase. And you're really not committing to too much upfront cost to start a business. I'll tell you, my first year of building this business, I spent $100,000 on cost to run and operate the business you see here today. My first year, spent $100 grand, and that's being conservative. I actually spent more, but I do recall that bill, 100 grand. When I looked at all, I was like, wow, past 100. Okay. When you start businesses in the 21st century now that are home-based, right, require low-cost barrier to entry, hey, so with that, those are the 2 opportunities, Legal Shield, and the other one, you can email me, you can let me know, you can send me an email, right, Denzel@buildertocontributor.com. Let me know what you want to do. If you're someone that maybe you purchased a manifesto already on a monthly plan, or you received my program for free because I gave it to you for free for whatever reason. Maybe I was giving on a particular day and you caught me giving, and I was in that giving mentality for that specific video or live stream, whatever I was doing. And you're like, okay, I'm ready to take the next step, but then you found out, oh crap, the one-on-one program's closed. Okay, well, here's the other option. We can start a business together. If you enroll in a business with me, let's say, for example, Legal Shield, like this gentleman did, then what I offered to him was a 1-hour phone call, right? During that call, we are either going to strategize on his personal finances, or we're going to strategize on building the business. Either or both. Now, when that call is over, based on what he does over a period of time, if he does what he said he's going to do, because it's very easy for me to know whether you did something or didn't do something. I can tell by the way you talk, by the way you respond, by the way you email me and ask questions, right? And it's performance-based. So if you do the work I tell you to do, and then you're like, hey, I'm ready for a phone call. I did X, Y, and Z. I found out about refinancing. I went ahead and did that. I redirected cash flow. I started the business. I bought a plan. I talked to some people about it. I got some people that are interested. Then I said, okay, let's set up another phone call, and maybe we can have those people join on that call, and they can get access to me and talk to me, or maybe we set up a Zoom, maybe we set up a private live stream, do some Q&A, and we keep the wheel spinning, okay? Pretty cool stuff. Let's see. AM says, listening. Funding says, very good. Joel says, good. Linda, good. Eric, Silver, excellent. Good for him. John says, ready to join your one-on-one program. When and how can I get in? I already went over that. So I think 3 was the best option, especially if he has a 834 credit score. Yeah, totally agree. Funding Guru said, I received the email, but they have not reached back out to me to join that business with you. Funding Guru, which one? Legal Shield or the software one, the UFF? If it's the software one, I completely understand because I actually just started that one and I only have one individual right now that's handling my leads. So remember, I get about 25 to 35 new leads per day. Per day. So let's use the low number. 25 a day times 30 days, 750 people in a month are reaching out to me, right? That's no joke. So even though I started these side businesses, they're very small in terms of my team. So with the software, that financial software and selling that, I only have one individual that's handling my leads right now. And from that business alone, I've got 90 people that inquired about buying that software or joining the business, okay? So Funding Guru, send me an email tonight, right? And title it like, tonight's live stream so that I can, see that your email stands out. Send me an email tonight and I will, flag you on all of those other leads so that we can have a conversation and get this thing going. Joel says, I would like to learn more about the software. Yep, so there is a link on my website on the resources page, right? So if you go to my resources tab, right, on my website, you'll see the link there to start a business with me. And what I'll do now to make it easy is I will get those links for you guys right now on the website, and I'll just attach it inside the whatchamacallit in the chat, right? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen. So I'm gonna go like this, share screen. Okay, so we're on my website right now, denzelrodriguez.com. Go to resources, tools you need to build a successful kingdom. Velocity Banking Calculator is basically what I call it. Click on this link right here, and it'll take you to landing page. This link right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and attach that so you guys can see that in the chat room. So that's that link. The Legal Shield link, there's one right there if you're ready to start a business, incorporate yourself. But the link to link up with me and join is right here. Same thing on the resources page. See what I was saying earlier, it was like as low as 9. This is like the average plan that I've seen with them. You would click on this button right here if you wanted to become an associate. All right, so let me go right here. So this would be the link for those that want to join the business with me. And Legal Shield, same thing, performance-based. You do the work, I will coach you. I will take the time. I'm not saying that I'm giving you lifetime access to myself at any given time. I'm going to send you a link and you do the work, right? And that's a great way for us to build a relationship, a trust relationship to get things going. And then I'll just show you guys on the Legal Shield side. Look, like a month or two ago, I only had like one person in the business. Look where I'm at today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individuals now that have teamed up with me, right? You do the work. It is a simple, effective way to build a second stream of income. No questions asked, right? It is another way to simply build another stream of income that you can get going, right? And have you guys heard that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income? So I don't see why you as a client in my kingdom wouldn't want to build at least one stream of income with your boy, your one and only finance geek, Denzel Rodriguez, right? I mean, come on. Look where I'm at now versus back then. For those of you who have been watching me a while, look at what fruit is coming out of the kingdom, right? Look how awesome that is. John says, how can I join your Legal Shield business? I'm ready to join you now. Where do I sign up? So I dropped the link, so we're good to go. Funding Guru says software. I'm ready to help you with that. Yeah, see, Funding Guru, see, in the software thing, look, I got one guy. I got one guy handling 90 leads, or 100 at this point, or more. Every day, leads are coming in, and the leads are just sitting. They're not doing nothing. They're just sitting, right? I mean, I am focused on my clients right now, my one-on-one. So to accommodate everybody else that's banging on my door, right? And I'm trying to silence them, relax them a little bit, say, okay, I need you to wait in the lobby area. We'll get to you. You'll become a citizen in the kingdom very soon. Be patient, right? Think of it like all of the people that come from other countries to get to America, right? Think about the process those people had to go through just to become an American citizen, all right? So on a very, 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 very low scale, that's kind of like what's happening in my business. A lot of people want to work with me, with us, together, right? To build this out because, I mean, you got to spread the wealth, right? Why not? Why not? Let's see. John said, I just sent you an email including my interest to partner with you on the Legal Shield business. Looking forward to your response on how to get started. Thank you. Yep. So I just, shared my screen, showed you the link, showed you where to go. You click on that, boom, bang, done. As soon as you sign up, you'll immediately get an email from me within that day to book a 1-hour session with me, and then we'll strategize on how to move forward. Walker says, oh, Valita, you missed out on the training that I did this week about that software with two of the head honchos in the company that is working that software. So I'll be having more like Zoom meetings for that. So she says, I'm doing the training for the software and waiting to start my infinite banking policy. Wonderful. Selvin says, thank you. John says, signing up on your website. Wonderful, wonderful. Walker says, yes, I've known that for years. I'm looking forward for the next 5 streams. Yes. So I'll just tell you honestly right now, I have 5 streams of income. Okay. And I'm working on my last 2. Right? My last 2 is most likely going to be like Forex, crypto, gold and silver, stocks, and then real estate are the other ones. So 7 streams, right, guys? This is what the average millionaire has, right? So if I want to create wealth in my life, who do I follow? Wealthy individuals. What do wealthy individuals have? 7 streams of income on average. Now, do they go and start 7 businesses all at once? No. You start one thing that creates many things. You start one thing, and then the second thing that you start should align with the first thing. Okay, so for me, Denzel, the first thing, what was it? Coaching. Right? So I do the financial, right? The coaching. And that is activity income. People pay me. I give them back more than what they paid. They learn, they earn, they return. Okay? Second stream. I say, okay, as I'm coaching them, what is another product that I can add onto their kingdom to build the kingdom blocks, right? Build this thing up like Legos. Infinite banking. IBC. So IBC is in alignment with financial coaching. I'm preparing people to that next stage. So that is my second largest stream of income. So we got 2 streams. The third is creating content, right? So because I put out videos for free and I give for free, the King of Kings has to respond. That's kingdom law, kingdom protocol, kingdom principle, keys to the kingdom, giving. So here I am creating content. After creating so many pieces of content, now the content starts to pay Denzel. So now Google from YouTube is probably paying me about $1,000 a month now. I remember receiving a check for about $4,000 last month in July, I believe. It was July or June. Sent me a paycheck, bam, $4,000. I was like, what did I do? I was like, and I didn't ask questions. I just kept moving on. I was like, oh, thank you, $4,000 times that by 10%, $400, give to the King, and I'm on my merry way. Okay. The fourth stream of income, I say, okay, I'm creating the content, I'm giving. This is in alignment with the first one, which is in alignment with the second one. The second one's in alignment with the first one. You see how one creates many? That's how you build your 7 streams. So the fourth largest stream of income is now Legal Shield. Okay? So Legal Shield is in alignment with me creating content, in alignment with IBC, because when someone puts a life insurance policy in place, who's the beneficiary? Make it the trust. How do I get a trust? Denzel, who do I go to? The person that I'm coaching, that I'm giving, guidance to, typically anything regarding money, they're going to send me an email about, hey, do you know anything about business credit? Hey, do you know anything about personal credit? Hey, you know anything about refinancing? Hey, do you know, hey, people keep going back. They keep coming back. They keep coming back, right? So Legal Shield provides the trust, the will, the estate planning, the tax strategy, the trademark, the business entity. It's automatic. So that's the fourth largest. Now fifth, here we go. When this gets too big, you then have to find something to automate that. So here we go, the fifth one, in alignment with the fourth, with the third, with the second, and the first, which is the financial software. Right? So now I can sell a software that does what Denzel teaches, similar to what I teach, if not better in some cases. And there's other financial coaches and experts that I can lean on. And then for those people that want to do what I do, because they want to be financial coaches, here is a resource. So that's the fifth. Okay, moving on. Sixth stream of income. And this is where I am working on right now. So the 6th and the 7th, it's not a pressing matter right now, right? You don't want to rush yourself while you're building these 7 streams. But I know for a fact that 6 or 7, no doubt in my mind, real estate, right? And then market, right? The stock market. This is where I've got the HSA set up, the Roth, right? The regular brokerage account. And I buy the stocks, the bonds, the mutual funds, the treasuries, the this, the that, dividend indexes, low cost index, zero cost index funds. You know, I learn how to trade little by little. This builds up over time. And then with that, you know, you buy the gold, you buy the silver, right? Jeez, I can't spell. Oh, Lord. Silver, S-I-L-V-R, L-V-E-R. So silver, and then crypto. Because I know for a fact, crypto, 10 years from now, people are not going to know what the US dollar was. They'll be like, huh? Why are you not using Bitcoin? Huh? What's the American dollar? Huh? No, we use Ethereum. No, we use Litecoin. No, we use this. We don't accept that no more. Wait till that happens. All right. So, let's see, go back to the questions. That was where I left off. Eric says, signed up, third stream. Wonderful. So you're on your third, so Eric's on his third stream of income. Beautiful. And to be fully transparent, with the third stream, that's only $1,000 a month. That's not crazy, right? It's not a lot. But I remember a time when it was only $100. So to me, I say, okay, if I was making $100 a month, say in early 2019, now we're in mid 2020, and now I'm receiving $1,000 a month, that's 10x. That's 10x off something passive. So if all I did was continue to create content on a consistent basis, that $1,000 a month could turn into $2,000, can turn into $4,000, $8,000, $10,000, $20,000, and it never stops. There's so many people on planet Earth being born, right? So the amount of people that's going to be born between now and the time I turn 30, and the amount of, say, between 16 and 18-year-olds entering the market, right, looking to get their finances in order, and the amount of baby boomers that are retiring on a daily basis. I forgot what the number is. Somebody, if you know what the number is, what the average amount of baby boomers retire in America per day. I know it's in the thousands, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So these people that are not financially fit and they're in retirement, who are they going to look up? What are they going to search for? How to pay off debt, how to get my credit right, how to do this, how to do that, right? How to build another stream of income. And if I'm doing it now, can you imagine what it's going to look like later on? Can you imagine the people like you that are watching now, that are teaming up with me now, that are creating your own content now, and you're just on the train with me. It doesn't even matter what cart you got on. As long as you got on the train, you didn't get left at the train station. As long as you're on the train, this is going to be a fun ride. All right? Let's see. Walker says, was really not happy to miss that call. I was with my elderly aunt in Virginia. That's okay. You got to deal with the family. Just know that more, I'm going to be setting up more of those so that we can keep doing that on a consistent basis. Thinking about allocating a portion of my solo 401k to offer your Kingdom members a small personal line of credit to help them get started. Very interesting. This is something that my spiritual friend of mine, may he rest in peace, Dr. Miles Monroe, I believe this is something that he wanted to do in the church, was to create lending opportunities, business opportunities to Kingdom citizens to get access to money to build things, to build wealth. So that was going to be probably my 8th stream of income, was to become a lender, like what Funding Guru is saying. Become a lender. And my thought process was, okay, well, if I become a lender, how can I effectively lend money to Kingdom citizens? And those who are not Kingdom citizens, I'll charge either a different rate. Those who are in the kingdom get say a special rate, say 1%, right? You borrow at 1%. If I gave you a loan at 1%, how soon are you going to pay me back? Probably never, right? You're going to take as long as possible to pay me back because I'm going to charge you simple interest, not compounded daily, and it's not going to be amortized. It's going to be simple interest, straight up 1% loan, 1% credit. Yeah, it's going to be a loan, but it's going to be calculated simple interest, right? And it's going to be at 1%. And then non-kingdom citizens, maybe I do like a 3% or a 4% or something. You know, I say, hey, get in the kingdom, here you go. Operate like a king. This is what kings do. This is how kings give money to kings. This is how queens lend money to queens and kings and kings and queens. This is how they operate. This is why they perpetuate wealth, because they don't pay for anything. Rich people don't pay for anything. They get everything free. They get the write-offs, they get the advantages, and they're just sitting at the top, looking at everybody else, you know, scrimp and scrap, right? It's ridiculous. But that's how the system operates. If you want to change it, you need to become a king, gain authority and power, and change the rules. And then come back to me, right? Let's see. Denzel, if the software is what I have seen on another Velocity Banking YouTube channel, it is amazing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Velocity Banking coaches and gurus out there that are probably promoting this software because they're seeing how automative it is. And I think it's going to level the playing field to a degree for those people that charge like 15, 20, 25,000 for like financial coaching around Velocity Banking and stuff. I think it's going to be pretty effective, you know, so we'll see. Walker says, I have 7 streams, but they are not all passive. And typically when you're starting out, they're not going to be passive. It requires activity, right? So when you focus on one activity, you 10x the one that supplies the others. All it does is feed it. So the amount of money I spend on Legal Shield gets funded by first stream of income. The creating content actually helps fund the first one or funds any other thing, because this is like free money, the third stream now. That's completely passive. Once something becomes completely passive, you shouldn't even factor it into your finances. You should either give it and preserve it and invest it, put it away, right? Or if you're in debt, obviously you just, you know, increase your chunk amount. And then the IBC is, I'm on the selling side of it and I actually own it, so I get the double whammy for that. But it was the first one that really funded everything else along the way. So it's important to work on one that makes many. I'm working on developing and building a team. Yep, Lita. Incredible. Your spirit is so big. Your spirit is big as well. Lending at 1 to 3% seems good. Think high interest. Usury is frowned on in the Bible. Yeah, you know, that is something that I want to become conscious of and aware of and get a little educated on. I think there are some scriptures in the Bible that says that if you're going to loan a citizen in the kingdom money, then you actually don't charge them an interest rate at all. Now, I have to do some more research on that because I have to get educated. I'm like, God, how do I make money, right? Is it just because, am I helping? Or is this a business partnership? Because there's a difference. You know, this is something that God has to teach me on a little bit. I have to get a little more knowledge on. Maybe you guys can help me. Which is, if I'm giving to you, I'm not expecting anything in return. That's me giving. I declared that as giving. So therefore, the king has to respond to that. In terms of lending money, now we're talking business. Business to business, right? Business to business. You need money. I have money. We're both in the kingdom. We both represent the same king. We both serve the same king. You're a king, I'm a king. You're a queen, I'm a king, right? I lend you money in your kingdom. At what interest rate, according to the Bible, should that rate be? Don't know. My thought process was like, I'm not even really looking for a profit, or more so just trying to cover my cost of giving you that money, because that money could have been invested somewhere else and making way more. So in a way, I'm helping by offering a very, very low rate, say 1%, simple interest, not daily compounding, but simple, right? 1%. And you can either pay it up front or pay it later or pay it early, no penalty fees or whatever the case may be. So got to get educated on that. I'm not fully aware just yet, not fully aware. But we're going to learn. We're going to learn together. First live stream, great stuff. Interested in the software business. Can't wait to learn more and do more. Yep. Is the software from Valley Investment Club? I don't think so. The company is their own company, and I think they're probably partnered with a lot of these real estate investment groups. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt if Valley Investment Club is using the same one. I don't know. Just signed up as your Legal Shield team member. Looking forward to increasing your passive income. My passive income? What about your passive income? Right? We got to increase your passive income as well, not just me. Right? I gotta sprinkle the wealth back to you. It's what my king. That's what my king told me to do. Right? I gotta spread it back to you. We're gonna have some fun. So yeah, as soon as I jump off this live stream, get home, I'll look at my emails tonight before I go to sleep, and I'll send you a link, John, so that we can have a conversation, strategize on next moves. Working on creating content and a system that will transform my main business. Fantastic. Creating content, ladies and gentlemen, in the 21st century. I don't care how old, young, I don't care what skin color you have. I don't care how tall, how short, how fat, how skinny. I don't care. If you are not creating contento in the 21st century, you are going to eventually get wiped out. You are going to get wiped out, okay? What I mean by that is the amount of work that you put in versus I put in is going to be drastically different. You're going to be sticking to old traditional ways of doing business, whereas I'm in the advanced modern ways of doing business, and you're going to get left behind, especially when voice takes over. Voice is the next biggest thing to hit the internet. Voice, it's already here, but just wait till everybody has it. Google Home, Alexa, this, right? Siri. When you tell Siri, find me a financial coach in my local area, only one name is going to come up through voice. One response. So you're going to be trying to still list high on Google, and that's going to become archaic. That's going to become old, actually ranking high on Google. What's going to be more important is actually ranking on Siri as number one. You know how tight the competition is going to be then? When Siri gives one answer for every result, and then you got to be more specific to actually get more options. And then you know what else is going to hit the market after voice? AI, artificial intelligence. And what I mean by wiped out, think of me. I do velocity banking, right? I teach people how to do velocity banking. I charge X amount of dollars per hour. X amount of dollars for this. What happens 5 to 10 years from now when majority of people watching my live stream, my old videos, are going to start commenting, you don't need to pay this guy. You can learn it via a software if you go to this program right here. So even my job can become at risk because of technology. because of advances, modernization, right? So that's why I'm looking ahead and I'm realizing, oh my God, if I don't own up, right? If I don't get better, even if I get better, I'm not going to beat the software over time, because I'm human and you always have to factor in the human error of mistakes. And AI doesn't make mistakes, right? Do you know how critical that is? AI doesn't make mistakes. Softwares, it doesn't make mistakes. You follow it, you do it, you're done, right? So you guys have to create content. If you are trying to build a business, you're trying to build your multiple streams of income, do not fool around. I'm telling you, life's just going to keep passing you by, right? It's just going to keep going faster and faster. When AI hits, voice hits, you're going to be getting into the market and you're going to be trying to do what we were doing back then, and you're not going to see the results because that train already passed. So if you're watching this now, it's 2020, I can guarantee you, I can promise you that, let's say in the next 10 years, crypto is going to become a household name. AI is going to be in every home. And voice, right? Siri, Alexa, what's the other one? Google Home. Alexa, Siri, and there's another one. I forget the names. That's going to be in every home. It's going to be a household name. And that's how people are going to conduct business. They're going to say, Siri, order me 20 cases of BAM and 3 bottles of this for shampoo and conditioner and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Who's going to be on the other side of that receiving that profit? Is it going to be you? Is it going to be me? I don't know. But if you prepare now, you'll be able to foresee, be able to have like pretty much like a bit of a crystal ball here to kind of, you know, see how it goes. And here's the best part. Even if 10 years from now, AI doesn't hit and Google and crypto doesn't hit, worst case scenario, you become freaking YouTube famous, Instagram famous, TikTok famous, right? Over the next 10 years. And you have your niche locked in. Once you get your niche locked in, doesn't matter. They're going to know you by name. They're going to Google you. They can say, hey, get me Denzel on the line. Buy his program, whatever it has. Google, Siri's going to buy the program for them. Less clicks, right? This is insane stuff. All right. A couple more minutes here and we're going to wrap up soon. Yep. Learning too. It's not 20K, that's what they charge. Are you saying with Valley Investment Club they charge $20,000 for their software? Because if they charge that amount, then that's not the software that I'm talking about. Because I think the software that I'm a part of, I think the most expensive you can go, I think, is under $8,000. I don't think it even breaches 10K. And to even buy that high ticket item, you have to have like 10 to 30 mortgages, I think. You know, so you have to be a serious investor, I think. Let's see, Denzel, just a thought on the kingdom lending. Set interest, excuse me. Denzel, just a thought on the kingdom lending. Set interest rate so the citizen has some skin in the game. If they met their financial obligation, waive the fee if the Spirit speaks to you. Okay, like that. That's a good thought. I would like some scripture to back up this topic that I'm talking about. Lending in the kingdom, lending outside of the kingdom. I know that lending outside of the kingdom, you know, you could pretty much charge whatever rate you want, but going back to the point of over excessive interest rates, you know, that's ridiculous, you know. That's obviously, you don't have to be religious to, you know, come to a conclusion that charging someone 35% interest rate on a vehicle just doesn't make any damn sense. That's ridiculous, right? Let's see, that AI possibility is maybe 5 years away. Yep, Sherry's saying 5 years. I said 10. Listen, I know it's coming. It's coming. I got a GoPro Hero 8, got Final Pro and Premiere Pro. I'm ready to step up. I even bought a class in editing videos. I'm ready. See, you got to position yourself. Denzel, you are a blessing. Thank you. Agree with Sherry. It's happening so fast. Man, it is happening fast. It makes people really wonder. Oh man, where's the world going? Are we good? Are we bad? Are we healthy? Are we ugly? I don't know. Right? It's tough to know. But what I do know is that when you're in the kingdom, Lord tells us not to worry about a thing. Right? The Lord tells us don't worry. If you are worrying about the future, about today, about tomorrow, about yesterday, if you're worrying, you are out of kingdom focus. And you need to step out of that unbelief and step back into faith, right? Step back into trust in the kingdom. All right? We get about 30 more seconds. Any final questions? If not, we're gonna wrap up here. Okay. So I don't see any more questions. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless you. We'll talk again soon. For all my one-on-one clients that are in the house, every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, unless circumstances change, but that's the consistent schedule here, unless I'm away on vacation or for whatever reason. All right? You guys enjoy the rest of the evening. God bless, and talk soon.